will go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Betsy Schneider. I am Program Director of the Wake Forest Summer Immersion Program, and I am so excited to welcome you this evening to talk about the Wake Forest Summer Immersion Program as part of Wake Forest University's pre-college programs. A brief agenda for this evening: we will discuss what to expect this summer in regards to programming, how to prepare for this summer, and any logistics that you may need to know, and some helpful tips and tricks prior to joining us on Wake Forest campus this summer, as well as kind of talking through your campus experience and what to expect. We will conclude with a Q&A session that will allow you to ask any outstanding questions that you're still curious about or don't know the answers to. So as some general housekeeping, please feel free to submit any and all questions as they come to you in the Q&A box down at the bottom of your screen. We have our program staff on deck and behind the scenes who are happy to answer your questions, and will be answering as many of your questions as possible as we go along throughout this webinar. We will also have a Q&A session at the end of the information session so that, questions that will be for the good of the group can get answered as well. Please keep your questions general, and if you do have specific questions about your student or situation, please email summerimmersion@wfu.edu. For students and families who were not able to join us tonight, we will be recording tonight's event, and we'll be emailing it out in the next couple of days, as well as posting it on our YouTube channel. So if you need to revisit this information for any reason, or send it out to a friend or a family member who was not able to join us tonight, it will be recorded and you will have access to all of the information shared. Alrighty, so I am really excited to introduce the Wake Forest pre-college program staff. Our team is comprised of all of the individuals that you see on this screen, and I am sure that many of you have been pleasantly surprised when receiving an email from us or receiving a phone call from us. We have an amazing team, and we want to make sure that all of our students just feel really welcomed and really excited about joining us on Wake Forest University's campus this summer. We have decades of experience working with young people, whether that's in K-12 education, higher education, student support and counseling. We are very excited and passionate about making sure that young people have great experiences prior to making really big decisions about college and where they want to go in their future. Our staff will be with your students residing in our residence halls and making sure that they have a really enriching experience and a positive experience. So the people that you see on this screen will be the ones welcoming you during check-in and getting to know your students throughout the course of the week that they spend with us. Our professional staff is super passionate about making sure that students have an amazing experience, and we're all just so excited to get to know you this summer. Another really important role, I'll kind of be speaking to many of the different roles of our summer seasonal staff now. So one of a really important role that we have during the summer immersion program is the residence hall and student life coordinator. So these individuals are integral to the success of residential life on campus. These individuals will be assigned different residence halls, making sure that students have a trusted adult to go to after hours and who oversee the safety and security of students in the residence halls at night. We will be residing in 2 separate residence halls, one for males and one for females, and we will have multiple residence hall and student life coordinators in each of those halls. In addition, residence hall and student life coordinators also oversee a team of Wake Forest undergraduates who serve as student engagement interns and mentors to our high school students. So not only will we have a professional staff on campus with your students this summer, we will also have residence hall and student life coordinators And then we'll also have our student engagement interns who kind of serve as our camp counselors throughout the course of the summer. Teaching assistants, this is another role that all of our students will experience this summer. So we hire Wake Forest undergraduate students to serve as teaching assistants who will be in the classroom with students during the academic day. Typically, teaching assistants are Wake Forest students who are majoring in the subject area that best aligns with a specific institute. So pre-med students will be assigned the Medicine Institute or the Sports Medicine Institute, for example. Business students will be assigned the Business Institute, so that students, our high school students, are able to be mentored and gain some insight and clarity about what it's like to pursue, you know, whatever the area of interest is that they're most interested in pursuing themselves. So they can also just hear about the Wake Forest experience from these individuals. They can hear what it was like to apply to Wake Forest and, you know, what they're involved in on campus. So teaching assistants will be with our high schoolers from 9 a.m. all the way until 4:30 p.m. each day during the bulk of the academic day. Another really important undergraduate staff role is the role of our student engagement interns. So I mentioned these previously, but student engagement interns are kind of like our camp counselors of the summer immersion program. So every student will be assigned a student engagement intern who will live with them on their hall. And so your students, you will check in with your student engagement intern each night. And these individuals will act as your mentors. They'll lead fun evening activities every single night, and they'll just kind of be your main point of contact in the residence halls, just, you know, to talk to learn about their experience, where they're from, and they'll kind of be like a residence advisor, so to speak, on your hall and in your residence hall. All right, so that made up the bulk of all of the staff that we hire over the summer. You know, we hire a small army to make sure that the Wake Forest Summer Immersion program is running really, really smoothly. So we have the professional staff, we have the residence hall and student life coordinators, and then we have, you know, a whole bunch of Wake undergraduate students who serve as our interns this summer. So now I'm going to dive into logistics. So as I mentioned previously, continue to keep those questions coming in regards to logistics, how to prepare before you arrive, anything you may need, because we do have our staff on deck to be able to answer your questions as they come to you. So many of you have already done a fantastic job in getting a lot of our required pre-work completed. So before arriving to campus, but we do have required forms that need to be completed prior to your arrival. These can be found on your student status page. So you can see we have the medical authorization form. One question we get a lot, and many may be curious about in regards to this form: do I need to go to my doctor? Do I need to have a physical? Do I need a doctor's signature on this form? No, you do not need to get you don't need to have a doctor's appointment. We really just want to know information in regards to health history, background, any medications that are being taken, and then any dietary restrictions and allergies that we should know about, in addition to health insurance information. In addition, we require a student code of conduct, a parental consent form, a travel and transportation survey, a pre-survey, and then we also require additional institute-specific forms for some institutes. If you do have an institute-specific form that needs to be completed, you'll be able to find that on your student status page. So that's kind of where you can find all of that information. If you are having trouble getting into your student status page, feel free to just email summerimmersion@wfu.edu, and our team will help you get back into our system so that you can get those completed and make sure that you're able to be ready before arriving to campus. Our final tuition is also due this coming Friday. So Friday, April 26th is when final balances are due on tuition. Like I said, if you're having any trouble making that final payment, feel free to reach out to our team and we will be more than happy to get that taken care of for you. All right, so now I am excited to start kind of visualizing this summer and getting excited about the summer. So Sunday is when all of our high school students will arrive. It's officially when the summer immersion program starts for us, our staff, and for our students. So students will check in on Sundays from 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 4:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No student is able to check in prior to 3 p.m. You are able to be on campus and explore prior to the 3 p.m. check-in time, but many campus buildings are not open on Sundays, and Winston-Salem is incredibly hot and sometimes very stormy and rainy during the summer months. So just be wary if you are just planning to explore campus until 3 p.m. But starting at 3 p.m., we will open the doors to our residence halls and welcome you with open arms. So we are super excited to have you join us on that Sunday. Parents are welcome to come, but parents don't need to come as well. So if students want to fly in by themselves or drive in by themselves, that is totally fine. You don't need to have a parent accompany you, although we love to meet parents and families, and oftentimes students like to have family members come and get them settled into their dorm room. So that is one thing to note. In addition, we do provide airport buses from only one airport, a nearby airport, the Piedmont Triad International Airport in Greensboro. So we do not offer transportation from Charlotte. We do not offer transportation from Raleigh, but we do offer a bus from the Piedmont Triad International Airport. The airport code is GSO. And we do recommend that students land on Sunday by 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for the departure on Friday, we recommend that they book flights that take off after 2 p.m. on that Friday. So the airport shuttle is $50 to ride the shuttle to and from campus. But it's a good option for students who just want to fly in to Greensboro and then be bused to Winston-Salem. It's the nearest airport to Winston-Salem. If students are driving themselves, you will be required to purchase a parking pass for $25. And in addition, we do make sure that students relinquish their keys to us upon check-in. So once a student who has driven themselves alone and is parking on campus has parked and gotten settled in, we will ask for their keys, just because we want students to be safe with us while they're on campus for that week.
All right, now we're going to talk a little bit more about residence halls and residence life. So this year we will have 2 residence halls, one for males and one for females, and those will be South Residence Hall and Luter Residence Halls. So each student will live in a double room and it is air conditioned. You will have your own wardrobe for you to put your clothing in, but we do not supply hangers. It's also very important that you bring your linens and bedding, as we do not supply those. You are welcome to ship anything to campus before you come here. The address to ship things can be found in our planning packet, but you want to make sure if you are shipping something, please have it arrive by the Friday before, as we do not have access to the mailroom over the weekend. You want to make sure, if you're able to bring a small trash can. There are bigger garbages in the halls, but you can bring a small trash can, linens, and some light cleaning supplies. It's very important to keep your room clean and be a respectful roommate. Each room also has its own microwave and fridge, so you are definitely encouraged to bring snacks with you, so that way you have something in the dorm to eat while you are there. The 2 dorms, you might be having a hall style bathroom or a suite style bathroom, depending on which one you are living in. But you want to definitely make sure to bring a shower caddy and shower shoes, and don't forget your soap, shampoo, and other toiletries. You are also encouraged to bring anything you might want to use in the evening during free time. So this could be board games, yard games, sporting equipment, or craft supplies. And we will have supplies for you to rent out as well during that time. You want to make sure to bring sweaters and a jacket. Even though all our rooms are air conditioned, it can get a little bit cold, especially during the academic day when you're in the classrooms. If you're curious more about what to wear and what to bring, I would definitely recommend looking at our social media to look at all the pictures from last year. We have so much on there so you can see what students wore. But generally for each institute, you're going to be wearing business casual during the day, but then at night you can change into athletic or more relaxed clothing for evening activities. I'm talking a little bit more about the residence hall. So here is a picture of what a double might look like. So you are able to request a roommate if you know someone that is coming. If you do want to request a roommate, we ask that you email us by April 26th, and we will send you the form. Both students have to fill it out in order for us to pair you both together. If you are not requesting a roommate, then you will have a random one. So you will receive a roommate of the same gender, age, and institute. While you are living there, you're going to get a lanyard with your name tag and a few different things on it. So you will receive a traditional metal key that will get you into your actual dorm room, but then an access card to get you into the actual residence hall. Besides that, you will also get a dining card as well for you to swipe into our dining halls. Besides the high school students living in the dorms, as Betsy mentioned earlier, there will also be staff living in the dorms as well. So this will be the professional staff, resident and student life coordinators, and student engagement interns who will be there to provide support, safety, and supervision throughout the week. We also have the Wake Forest Campus Police that help us monitor residence halls throughout the evening and nighttime. So as an additional safety and supervision measure, we will have several check-in times throughout the day, and these will be noted on the schedule that we're going to talk about in just a second when we get to Google Classroom. So the first check-in time will be your morning check-in. So this will be between 7 and 7:45. You'll just head to the residence hall piano room, and there will be staff there for you to check in before you walk to breakfast. Once you're done with breakfast, you will head to your classroom where you'll do your second check-in of the day with your teaching assistants. And then in the evening, between 9 and 10, that's your last check-in window. Once you check in for the evening, you are in the residence halls for the night. You should not leave after that. And then 10 p.m. is that final time to check in. And then male should be in the male residence hall and female should be in the female residence halls after that. And then lights out will be at 10:30 each night. So we're really excited this year. We're doing something a little bit new. We're going to have a summer immersion program store for you guys to buy some merch while you're there. So we'll have several Wake Forest branded items, including a water bottle, hat, sticker, and then like always, the students will get a free summer immersion program t-shirt. So there it is. That's the one you'll be getting this summer. We're excited that the funds from the summer immersion store will go to help scholarships for next year's students. So now we're going to talk a little bit about Google Classroom. So Google Classroom will be the hub for all things related to the Students' Institutes. So students will be added to this sometime in May. So be on the lookout for the invitation from us and make sure to join immediately. So that way you can start exploring and see all the cool things you're going to be doing during your week here. So Google Classroom will be used throughout the week to provide your daily schedules, to learn more about guest presenters, evening activities, find more information about your academic leaders, TAs, and other staff that will be on campus with you during your week. You want to make sure to join because teaching assistants will post communication throughout the week in Google Classroom. I would also recommend downloading the Google Classroom app on your phone prior to arriving to campus, so that way you have it readily available in case they do post a new communication. So now we're going to do an example day in the life. So this would be from our Business Institute, but all of our institutes will make sure to have hands-on activities, labs, guest speakers, field trips. To make sure you are getting the most out of your experience here and really diving into what you are passionate and what you want to learn about. So, as well as all students will receive a campus tour and an official Wake Forest admission session here as well. So a day in the life might look like waking up around 7:30, checking in, and then walking to breakfast. And then you'll have a welcome from your academic leader, and they'll tell you some of the things that you'll be going over during the week and during that day. Then you might go into a panel with business leaders from the community. And then we always like to add Q&A sessions, so that way students have a chance to get all their questions answered. We might go into a marketing and a case study before heading to lunch. After lunch, you might do a workshop and then do some financial analysis, maybe another workshop after that. And then a lot of institutes will have group projects for the week. So we always like to build in some work time in the afternoon. So that way you have the evening to enjoy evening activities. After that, you would be dismissed around 4:30, and then from 5 to 7 p.m. is your dinner window, and then evening activities will take place after that. And then 9 to 10 p.m., you have that last check-in, you can start preparing for bed, and then 10:30 p.m. would be lights out. So that would be an example of what you might expect from one day in an institute.
So students, like Lauren just said, will have free time every evening from 5 to 10 p.m. Our dining hall will be open from 5 to 7 p.m. for dinner, and students are also welcome to order food to be delivered to campus up until 8 p.m. The food has to be delivered by 9 p.m. So they can order up until 8. The food has to get here before 9, before that wind down period. In order to ensure student safety, we do require that another student or a staff member accompany you to receive your food delivery. Students are not allowed to approach a car delivering food by themselves. So as long as you grab a friend, or you grab a a student engagement intern, or a professional staff member, as long as you have someone with you, then you're all set to go pick up that food. During the evening, students do have to stay on campus, but you're free to go on walks and throughout our campus and enjoy spending time in any of our lovely outdoor spaces. And I also want to add that students are not allowed to use the gym facility or the pool while they are here on campus with us. It is the gym's policy. Students under the age of 18 have to be supervised one-on-one, and we do not have, unfortunately, the staff capacity for that. Awesome. So in the evening, we have our evening activities. The excitement continues. Students will have a plethora of optional but very engaging activities to participate in with students from all institutes that are in the program at the same week as them, not just those that are in their institute. So you'll be able to meet and develop fast friendships with peers from around the country and maybe even around the world. So whether you're looking to join a quick game of 3-on-3 on the basketball court behind our residence hall, gather for a movie night in the library, hear in-depth details from a current Wake Forest undergraduate student about the college application process and the college experience. Each day will be rounded out in inviting and really meaningful ways. Okay, so nighttime check-in, we've said this a little bit, but nighttime check-in will begin every night at 9 p.m. and students will have until 10 p.m. to check in. But as soon as they check in between those two times, they should not leave their residence hall. So whenever they check in, they're in for the night. Once they've checked in, they are free to hang out, of course, in their residence hall, common rooms, piano room, wherever, but they just need to stay in the building. And then wind down begins at 10 p.m. And then quiet hours and lights out, of course, start at 10:30. Students can, of course, leave their room to use the restroom or shower after 10:30. But that's when we expect, students to start being respectful of other, students on their hall, and, keep it quiet and start to wind down for the night. Okay, so checkout on Friday runs from 12 to 12:30. So by 12:30, students will need to have exited their residence hall with all of their belongings. So in order to expedite Friday checkout, students turn in their residence hall access cards on Thursday night during Thursday night check-in. And we ask that students pack all their belongings and have everything ready to go on Friday morning before breakfast. They'll also turn in their room keys on Friday morning before breakfast. When programming ends on Friday at noon, students return straight to their residence halls to collect their belongings, and then they also need to have their room checked by their assigned student engagement intern before they can leave campus. So once approved, students may depart campus. In order to be approved, rooms must be clean with no trash left behind, no personal items left behind, including clothing, bedding, toiletries. We do have a bedding or a linens donation system that we'll be doing. So if you want to donate your linens, just let us know. Students who leave campus with an unapproved room will receive a fine on their student status page. If your roommate leaves campus early and leaves any trash or items behind, please let a staff member know, whether that's one of us or your student engagement intern, as soon as possible. And please let us know prior to the checkout process beginning at noon on Friday. We do need all access cards, room keys, and dining cards returned to us at the end of the week. So lost room keys incur a $75 fee, lost access cards are a $15 fee, and lost dining cards are also a $15 fee. Okay, so we do have a zero tolerance policy for certain items, and this includes tobacco products and vapes of any kind, drugs of any kind, alcohol, and any kind of weapon, including like pocket knives and things like that. They're not allowed, zero tolerance. And then prohibited conduct includes leaving your residence hall after 10 p.m., purposefully destroying any Wake Forest property, any kind of bullying, harassment, or discrimination, leaving campus at any point during the week, except if it's, on a field trip, with your institute, using the gym, except we do have a night every week where we have an indoor basketball night. So that's allowed, but other than that, no using the gym, and then not turning in your car keys to us if you are driving yourself to campus and parking your car here. Awesome, so that is everything. Please let us know if you have any questions, just drop them in that Q&A box and we will answer them right here and now. If you do have a specific question involving your registration or anything like that, please email us at summerimmersion@wfu.edu. And we look forward to having you with us at Wake Forest this summer very soon.
All right, Elizabeth, could you talk a little bit about if students have to arrive late or leave early?
Yes, absolutely. So we do have a quick little form to fill out to let us know if you need to arrive late to campus or if you need to leave early. The links to both of those are in the planning packet, and the link to the planning packet can be found on your student status page, or you can absolutely email me or email us at summerimmersion@wfu.edu, and we will get those links straight to you right away. But you can absolutely arrive late and leave early, whatever you need, and we will assist you or assist your student in, however they need help in getting to or leaving campus.
All right. Betsy, could you talk a little bit about the food hall and anything having to do with dietary restrictions and allergies?
Yes, absolutely. So Wake Forest has a really, really wide range of options in our dining halls. So if you will be coming to campus for the first 2 weeks of programming, as we mentioned, you will be eating in North Dining Hall. And if you are coming in weeks 3 through 6, you will be eating in what we refer to as the pit. It doesn't sound very appetizing, but that is what we call our dining hall at Wake Forest. And the really awesome thing about both North Dining Hall and the pit is students can kind of go on the website of either of those dining halls to see every option that will be available to them so they can kind of plan out what they want to eat. We do have a really great vegan and vegetarian station. We have a really great salad bar. Every day there is a build your own omelet station. Typically there's a pasta bar, a pizza bar, a grill, a deli where you can make your own sandwich or wrap. And then in addition, Wake Forest dining halls do not have any of the top the top allergen. So it's a peanut free, both dining halls are totally peanut free. So if you do have a peanut or tree nut allergy, you don't have to worry about contamination with any of our other stations. But if you are curious about kind of looking to see what the menus typically look like, just Google Wake Forest Pit dining hall, and you'll be able to see what students had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner today, tomorrow, and over the summer. It's really a nice feature.
Betsy, could you also talk about our policy with phones and using them during institutes?
Sure. So, students, we know that phones are really important for students, and we also know that it's important to be connected to family and friends back home when they're here at Wake Forest. We really advise students to be respectful during programming. So from the hours of 9 a.m. until 4:30 p.m., students will be meeting with really accomplished professionals in a given field of study. They will be engaging with Wake Forest faculty. We will be going on behind the scenes field trips at professional settings. So, big banks and businesses in Winston-Salem and Charlotte, and even in Raleigh, we'll be going to different government institutions. We'll be in the hospital, in the School of Medicine for, medicine. So we really ask that students are respectful when it comes to use of their phones. We want them to be able to share their experiences that they're having on campus with us, but at the same time, we ask that they put them away when engaging with professionals who are giving us their time and talent and expertise throughout the course of the academic day. So that's what I would say, what we expect when it comes to using your phones.
Elizabeth, can you talk a little bit more about dress code and business casual?
Yes. So some of the institutes say that you will need to bring, one business casual outfit or several, depending. Please look in your packing list to see what your institute says. Not every institute will require a business casual outfit, but I'd say at least half of them, if not 2/3. So especially the ones that are business related institutes, you're going to want to pack at least one, if not a few, business casual outfits. Also in that packing list is we did create a dress code document with examples of what we mean when we say business casual and other things like the Bioscience Institute and the Engineering Institute. Like, they don't need business casual, but they need to wear lab appropriate clothing and that kind of thing. So just make sure you're going into your packing list, you're looking at what your institute is specifying for your dress code, and you're clicking on that dress code document, dress code guide, or dress code, I think it's dress code specifics and examples. And you are looking at the description and looking at some example photos from last year of students that picked appropriate dress code for their lab or their business field trip, and just to get a better sense of what to bring with you.
And you do not need to wear the Wake Forest shirt that we provide every single day. We will ask that you wear it during your admission session day, and you'll be able to see that on your schedule, but that is the only time we ask you to wear it. Let's see. Betsy, could you talk a little bit more about the shuttle and coming to and from the airport?
Sure. So as I mentioned, we do offer an airport shuttle from the Piedmont Triad International Airport on both Sunday when students arrive, and then we bring students back to the airport on Friday. So we recommend that students land at GSO by 2:30 p.m. Because our shuttle will wait until 3:30 p.m. So that way, if you're landing at 1, 2, or 3, you'll probably be able to make our shuttle to ensure that you're able to check in by 4:15 to give you at least 30 minutes to get settled into your dorm room. And then on Friday, our shuttle will arrive at campus at around 12 noon when programming is dismissed. And it will wait until 12:30. So it will depart campus around 12:30. So we just suggest that students book flights after that take off after 2:30 p.m. on that Friday, just to make sure that they make their flight. The Piedmont Triad International Airport, or GSO, is very small, especially on Sunday and Friday. It's pretty easy airport. So typically it won't take more than an hour to get through security or anything like that. But just to be safe, we ask that, students kind of keep those times in the back of their mind when they're booking flights to and from GSO.
Elizabeth, is participating in evening activities mandatory?
Absolutely not. They are all optional, but we highly encourage you to take advantage of them. And they're really fun. They're going to be, they're going to get, the blood pumping. There's going to be kickball. There's going to be basketball. We did capture the flag last summer. And there'll be trivia night. There'll be karaoke night. Just things that will bring students cross institute together to really get to know each other and have fun and really experience what it's like to be on a college campus, and definitely take advantage of the panels that our undergraduate staff will be putting together. They are really passionate about helping y'all prepare for college and taking that big leap. And so they're going to be putting panels together. I think there'll be a panel probably every night on a different topic, whether that's College 101 or the college application process or diversity on the college campus. We're very passionate about, we tried really hard to hire undergraduate students that share our passions in helping students build confidence to get ready for college. So they are optional, but highly encouraged.
I also, for Elizabeth, will students get to know their roommates before they arrive?
So we will be adding all of y'all to your Google Classrooms in early to mid-May, which is when you will get to meet the other students in your institute. So once we add you, I don't know, not everybody is familiar with Google Classroom. I was not familiar with Google Classroom as a high school student, but when we add you, I think you'll be able to see who the other students are. And then there's going to be a post in the classwork section where everybody can introduce themselves, and there's a couple icebreaker questions, and you can say where you're from and what got you interested in your institute subject area, and you can start chatting with each other. So you won't necessarily know who your roommate is, but you can absolutely start getting to know everyone in your institute starting in early to mid-May.
Betsy, are there any pre-work assignments?
Yes, so all of the forms that I mentioned earlier, so the medical authorization form, the code of conduct, the parental consent form, travel and transportation survey, and the pre-survey, those are all forms that need to be completed as pre-work. In addition, there are a few other things that need to be done prior to coming to campus, and that is very institute specific. So for example, the Leadership Institute, our academic leader, Marcus Sanderlin, wants students to come ready with a resume prepared because the students will be engaging in a resume workshop. For screenwriting, for example, a week ahead of time, we want you to download the screenwriting software that the students will be using. So you really have to refer to the packing list to know, or the status page to know if your institute has any specific pre-work. There are also a few specific waivers and forms that certain institutes have. So if you do have specific questions about an institute, like we said, feel free to email summerimmersion@wfu.edu, and we can make sure that your questions get answered if you're not sure if your institute has pre-work, but you should be able to find everything in either the planning packet, the packing list, or on your student status page.
Also on the same topic, Betsy, is there homework each night for the day?
There is not homework. So I think most people probably know this, but all of our summer institutes are not for credit. So the big goal of our programs are for students to walk away with a better sense of clarity and insight and an idea of what they want to pursue in the future, whether that's a major or a career pathway. That being said, for many of our institutes, we do have kind of fun final projects to showcase the knowledge and learning that was gained throughout the course of the week. So for example, for our Entrepreneurship Institute, the students have a Deke Tank pitch project that they will do on Friday. They will pitch to a panel of judges. So every night, our entrepreneurship students may be working in their team to work on their pitch so that they're ready to present to their panel of sharks on Friday. The Neuroscience Institute is doing a mini neuroscience research project. The Psychology Institute is doing a mini observational study on human behavior. So each of our, not all of our institutes, but many of our institutes do kind of have a final Friday presentation where they will showcase or talk about some of the knowledge that they've gained throughout the week. So that would be the only homework that you could expect during the week, but there's not reading, there's no grades, there are no quizzes or exams or anything like that.
Elizabeth, so when they get to the airport, if they are taking the shuttle, who should they look for?
Yes, so we will be sending 2 of our student staff with the charter bus shuttle to the airport. And their names will be Alyssa and Sally. And they will be the ones meeting students in arrivals on Sunday. And they will also be the ones taking students back to the airport on Friday afternoon. So we will we'll let them know, we'll have signs for them to hold, and we'll make it as truly as obvious as possible that they are there to pick up summer immersion students.
Betsy, can students access their dorm during the day?
No. So we really want students to kind of take a rain jacket and a water bottle and anything they might need in the morning, and kind of not expect to go back to their dorm room throughout the course of the day. Our days, we are a fairly short program when it comes to pre-college programs. So, we have 4.5 days of content that we really want to make sure that students are getting as much out of our programming as possible. So we schedule things pretty tightly throughout the course of the day. So there's really not time in the middle of the day to go back to the residence hall. So no, we ask that students don't go back to their room in the middle of the day. That being said, if it's an emergency and students need to go back to their room for something, of course, our team and our staff is there to make sure that students get what they need, but we don't have long breaks. There's not nap time or anything like that in the middle of the day, just because we have so much that we want to cover.
Elizabeth, should students carry around a backpack or a purse throughout the day, or is it not really necessary?
It really depends. Personally, it's, dead of summer in North Carolina, so at least having a water bottle is really important. So if you'd like to have a bag with you to put that water bottle in, then yes, absolutely. But I don't think having a bag is incredibly necessary. Now, if you have your laptop with you, you might want to have a bag just to have something to carry it in. And it does sometimes, thunderstorm quite quickly here as well. So you might want to have a bag to put your raincoat in, or an umbrella in as well. So yeah, I would recommend it, but it's technically optional.
Betsy, should students bring a laptop?
Many of our institutes do require a laptop and many do not. So as I mentioned, please refer to the packing list to know whether your institute warrants bringing a laptop to campus or not. Oftentimes students like to have laptops to watch things at night, to wind down and relax. So if that's the case, then absolutely feel free to bring an iPad or a device. But many of our institutes you don't need a laptop. If your institute does need a laptop, which note on the packing list, we do have a loaner laptop option available if you need to get a loaner laptop from us, which there's a $25 fee associated with the loaner laptop. But don't request a laptop if you don't need one for your institute, because many of our institutes, you don't need a laptop for them.
Betsy, could you also talk about what happens if there are flight delays?
Sure. So if there are flight delays, our team on Sunday, our team will be, tracking flights to make sure that students get into campus. So we hire a whole team of staff to make sure that students are arriving whenever they arrive. So, we will wait up for students if they get to campus really, really late. And make sure that, we're in communication with parents and in communication with students. Unfortunately, if a student is delayed and they have requested the shuttle, we don't have a late shuttle. So the parent and the student need to find alternate transportation if that's the case. If the family feels comfortable with Uber or Lyft, we've had lots of parents and students do that. We also partner with different transportation companies local to Winston-Salem who are able to go late and pick students up from the airport as well. So our team is kind of in constant communication with the student and the parent to make sure that they arrive to campus safely.
Elizabeth, are there any options for students doing 2 weeks to stay on campus?
So unfortunately, students cannot spend the weekend with us. We won't have any staff on campus, so we will not be able to supervise. And so students are, of course, allowed to do back-to-back institutes. And if they're not going to go home in between, we can absolutely recommend hotels in the area where they can stay for that Friday night and Saturday night before they come back to campus to be with us for another week. So please email us at summerimmersion@wfu.edu if you'd like some hotel recommendations. I believe there's also a link in the planning packet to the Wake Forest University hotel recommendations page. And yeah, let us know if you have any concerns about that.
Betsy, are there grocery stores on campus?
There are not full-fledged grocery stores, but there are little mini marts where students are able to buy, snacks and drinks and things like that. Students also have a mini fridge and a microwave in their dorm rooms. So we definitely recommend for students who want to have snacks or drinks available to them. We definitely recommend them bringing snacks. We'll also have snacks in the residence halls for students to eat throughout the course of the evening if they get hungry. But yes, students do have access to little mini marts on campus where they're able to purchase things like snacks and drinks and stuff like that.
Elizabeth, is there Wi-Fi in the residence halls?
Yes, there's absolutely Wi-Fi. We'll be creating bulletin boards that are going to go up throughout our residence halls, which will have the Wi-Fi name and password posted on them. So that will be readily available to students as soon as they get to campus.
Betsy, is there a car service we would recommend for students that need private transportation or that are coming from Charlotte?
Yes, so we partner with Black Tie Transportation. They're a wonderful company that Wake Forest students partner with often, and and they're very reliable and professional. And so we've had countless numbers of students and families utilize Black Tie Transportation. You can find their information on our FAQ page as well. But Black Tie, located in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, is the private transportation company that we typically refer families to.
Elizabeth, is the dining hall buffet style or is it a lunch line format?
Actually, I'm not really sure. I think it's both. I think some stations are like a line. Mostly it's self-serve. There are some stations where, like the pasta bar station, where they cook it and you tell them what you want in your pasta bowl and they'll make it for you. So it kind of depends. But like the salad bar is self-serve, and like the grill is self-serve, the vegetarian vegan station. So, but the deli, like they'll make the sandwich or wrap for you. So it's kind of 50-50, I think.
Also for Elizabeth, is there downtime in the evening to work on other assignments? For example, if they have a project or any other work they have to do?
Yes, absolutely. That time is completely up to you from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Again, the evening activities are optional. Dinner, of course, the dining hall is only open for dinner from 5 to 7, so you do need to eat dinner between those within that time frame. But other than that, that whole what you do with that time is up to you, and it's very much like the real college experience. So if you need to work on a project, whether that's for your institute or for something outside of the program, you will absolutely have time to do so.
I also for Elizabeth, can you DoorDash food?
Yes, you can DoorDash food. Students are allowed to order dinner only to campus. And it needs to be ordered prior to 8 p.m. every night. And the delivery must get to campus before 9 p.m., which is when check-in for nighttime check-in begins. And we do ask that you do not go to the car. Even if it's right next to the residence hall, do not go to that car alone to pick up your food. Please bring another student with you or grab a staff member, whether that's one of us or a student engagement intern, to walk with you to go grab that food. Just don't be alone while you're picking it up. It's just to ensure y'all's safety.
Betsy, could you talk about approximately how many students we have each week?
Sure. So it's approximately 220 students, I would say, on average each week. Some weeks we'll have less than that, close to 175, 180, and then other weeks we might have a little bit more than that, so close to 300. We're expecting somewhere around 1,300 students this summer. So every week it's a nice big group of students, but very manageable for our staff, and just a lot of like-minded students who are excited to be on campus, excited to learn something new over the summer, and excited just to be learning about Wake Forest. So yeah.
Okay. Betsy, are the showers shared amongst the whole hall?
Yes or no. So oftentimes one hall is kind of split up into two sections. So it'll typically be 2 bathrooms on a single hall. And so, the other thing to note is students have their own sinks in their rooms. So they will be able to have a sink in their room, and then, they'll access toilets and showers in the communal bathroom. So it's nice that students will be able to brush their teeth, wash their face, do what they need to do in their dorms, but then they will have the communal showers and bathrooms on the hall. But it's about 2 bathrooms per hall, typically.
So a lot of the questions that we're getting are more institute specific about field trips. So Betsy, could you talk about Google Classroom and where they can find more information about their specific institute?
Sure. So as we mentioned, students will be emailed an invitation to their Google Classroom starting beginning of May to mid-May. So be on the lookout for that. And that is where the students will find their detailed schedule. So in the Google Classroom, you'll be able to see the guest presenters that you'll be able to interact with this summer, the field trips that you'll be able to go on. You'll get to know your teaching assistants. You'll get to know your academic leader a little bit more. You'll be able to learn a lot more about each other, the other students in your institute, because you'll get to kind of chat with them on a message board. So yeah, so that's really where you'll get to see, okay, what field trips am I going on? What labs am I participating in? What engaging activities do I get to do this week? Who will I be meeting and interacting with and networking with? So that will all be shared with you early May to mid-May.
And then just a few final questions as we are starting to wrap up. Elizabeth, is there an opportunity to connect with your program mentors after your session ends?
Yes, absolutely. We will be making emails available, whether that is your student engagement intern, your teaching assistant, your academic leader, or your guest presenters that you met throughout the week who are experts in their fields. We will be making their email available, and you are, free to reach out. We're also going to be, there will be a time set aside in each institute. I believe it's usually on Friday. Sometimes it's on a Thursday. It just depends on the institute, but there'll be time set aside for y'all to write thank you notes to people that you met during the week who really impacted you and gave you something to think about. So there will also be space for that. But the emails will be shared in the Google Classroom. So just there'll be a different slideshow for the guest presenters, for your teaching assistants, for your student engagement interns. So as soon as you are in your Google Classroom, you can go in and see their contact information.
Okay, well, I think we are ready to wrap it up as it is 8 o'clock. Please, if you have any more questions, feel free to email us or call us. I highly encourage you to check out the planning packet to really learn more information, especially about what to bring. And when you get that Google Classroom invite, make sure to check it out. Betsy, I'll pass it back to you.
All right, well, I just want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. It was really refreshing and energizing to hear your questions and to engage with you. We are so excited about this summer, and we just can't wait to meet you all. So as we all mentioned, we welcome additional questions at summerimmersion.wfu.edu. You can also call us. Our team is happy to answer your questions and make sure that everyone feels really ready, prepared, and excited for this summer. And with that, I will say good night. Thanks, everyone.